I'm 88 years old, and I've spent most of my life winning. And I can tell you right now, it nearly killed me. Not the work, not the stress, the silence that came after. The emptiness that follows every finish line when you realize you've been running toward the wrong thing your entire life. Everything you think you know about success is probably setting you up for the same trap I fell into. And the worst part? Society told me I was doing it right. I'm not here to impress you. I'm here because I'm running out of time, and you're not. I've made every mistake in the book, chased every wrong thing. And I need you to hear this before you waste decades like I did. Because once you understand what I'm about to tell you, you can't unsee it. But before I tell you what happened in that hospital room 3 years ago, you need to understand who I was before that day. I built a mid-sized logistics company from nothing. 15 employees became 300. We moved goods across 18 states. I got written up in trade magazines. I gave talks at conferences. People respected me. My calendar was full for months. I woke up at 5. I answered emails before my coffee went cold. I did everything a successful man was supposed to do. And every night, I went to bed thinking tomorrow would be the day I finally felt satisfied. It never came. If you've ever felt like you're waiting for your life to start once you finish the next thing, subscribe. I'll keep telling you the stories no one else will. The ones that might save you from me. Here's the part no one talks about. My life worked. On paper, everything was fine. Great, even. The company grew. The bank account grew. My kids went to good schools. We had the house, the cars, the respect. I had a corner office on the 9th floor with windows that overlooked the city. I could see the river from my desk. And inside, I felt nothing. I'd sit in my office at 8 p.m., the building empty. Just the hum of the HVAC and the glow of my computer screen, and I'd think, this is it? The coffee on my desk had gone cold hours ago. I didn't even remember making it. I'd drive home in silence. Not music, not podcasts, just silence. Because I was too tired to even choose what to listen to. I'd pull into my driveway and sit in the car for 5 minutes before going inside. Not because I was thinking, because I didn't want to pretend anymore. Pretend I was happy. Pretend I was fulfilled. Pretend that everything I was building meant something. I wasn't living. I was going through the motions, and I told myself that was normal. That everyone felt this way. That peace would come later, after the next quarter, after the next deal, after I proved I could do it. I was 59 when I had my first heart attack. I was in the parking lot of a Marriott in Columbus, Ohio. I just finished a presentation to a potential client. A big one, the kind that could have added $2 million to our revenue. I was walking to my rental car, keys in my hand, feeling pretty good about how the pitch went. Then my chest tightened. Not pain at first, just pressure, like someone was sitting on my ribs. I leaned against the car. The keys fell. I remember the sound they made hitting the asphalt, that little clink. I remember thinking, not now. I have a flight in 3 hours. I didn't think about my wife. I didn't think about my kids. I thought about the flight. The paramedics found me on my knees next to the driver's side door. One of them was young, maybe 25. He kept saying, "Stay with me, sir. Stay with me." And I remember thinking how strange it was that I'd spent 30 years trying to stay ahead, and now someone was begging me just to stay. And that's when I realized the lie I'd been living. The lie is this: I have time. You think you'll call your brother after you close the deal. You think you'll take that trip after the promotion. You think you'll slow down after the kids are grown. You think you'll reconnect with your spouse after retirement. You think you'll start living after you finish building. But the goalposts keep moving. Every milestone just creates a new one. You get the raise, then you want the title. You get the title, then you want the corner office. You get the office, then you want the recognition. You get the recognition, then you want the legacy. It never stops. And while you're chasing, years pass. And the people you love get older, and your body gets tired. And one day, you're in a parking lot in Ohio realizing you can't remember the last time you laughed with your wife. Do you really think you'll have time later? Or are you just afraid to admit you're wasting it now? My friend Daniel died 2 years ago. 63 years old. Massive stroke. We'd worked together for almost 20 years. Good man. Smart. Worked harder than anyone I knew. He used to say, "Once I retire, I'm buying that cabin in Montana. Gonna fish every day." He said it for a decade. He had the land picked out. He had the floor plans saved on his computer. He showed them to me probably 15 times. Every time we'd grab lunch, he'd pull up the photos on his phone. "Look at this view, John. 2 more years and I'm out." He died at his desk on a Tuesday afternoon. His daughter found the Montana folder when she was going through his files. She called me crying. She said, "He never even visited the lot, John. He bought it 8 years ago and never saw it in person. He was waiting until he had time." That sentence followed me home. I thought about all the things I was waiting for. The boat I was going to buy when I retired. The road trip I was going to take with my wife. The novel I was going to write. The guitar I was going to learn. All the somedays stacked up like unpaid debts. And I realized I'd been making the same bet Daniel made. The bet that tomorrow is guaranteed. It's not. I can tell you exactly what I regret. Not the deals I lost. Not the promotions I didn't get. The moments. I regret not going to my daughter's recital because I had a conference call I could have rescheduled. She was 9. She played the violin. Badly, probably. But she wanted me there. My wife told me she kept looking at the audience for me. I regret not visiting my brother in Seattle for 5 years, even though I flew for business twice a month. He invited me every time we talked. "Come for the weekend. Bring the family." I always said next time. He moved to Arizona. We're not close anymore. I regret not taking my wife to Italy when we talked about it in our 40s. We were going to go next year. Next year became next decade. She died before we ever went. Lung cancer. 68 years old. The night before she went into hospice, she said, "We never made it to Rome, did we?" She wasn't angry, just sad. That hurt more. I regret not telling my father I forgave him before he passed. I was angry about something that doesn't even matter now, and I let pride keep me silent. He died thinking I still hated him. I don't even remember what we fought about, but I remember the funeral. Standing there knowing I'd never get to say it. I regret not sitting on the porch more. Not reading the books on my shelf. Not calling my mother just to talk. She'd call me every Sunday, and I'd give her 10 minutes while I answered emails. She knew. I could hear it in her voice. That little disappointment. I regret not watching the sunset. Not holding my wife's hand without thinking about the emails waiting for me. Not lying in bed just talking. We used to do that when we were young. We'd stay up until 2 a.m. just talking about nothing. When did we stop? I regret every time I said not now when my kids wanted to show me something. Every time I chose work over presents. Every time I told myself I was doing it for them when really I was doing it for my ego. My son once built a spaceship out of Legos. Took him all day. He brought it to my office. I was on a call. I held up one finger. Wait. He stood there for 3 minutes, holding that spaceship, and then he left. I finished the call. I don't even remember what it was about. But I remember the look on his face. He's 40 now, we're fine. But I can't get that moment back. Not the deals, not the titles, the moments. The rain on the window while my wife made tea. The light in the kitchen on Sunday mornings. My son's laugh when he was 7. The smell of my daughter's hair when I hugged her goodnight. My mother's voice on the phone. The weight of my grandson in my lap. Those were the things. And I barely noticed them because I was thinking about tomorrow. When you're 88, you don't think about the promotions. You think about the Tuesday night your wife put her head on your shoulder watching a movie. You think about the Saturday morning your kid wanted to go to the park. You think about the phone call you didn't make, the trip you didn't take, the hug you didn't give. That's what fills your head at the end. And by then it's too late to go back. Here's what actually matters. And it's embarrassingly simple. People, not networking. People, the ones who'd show up if you called at 2 a.m. The ones who remember your birthday without Facebook. The ones who sit with you in silence and it doesn't feel awkward. You probably have 3, maybe 5 of these people in your life. When's the last time you called them just to talk, not to update, not to ask for something, just to hear their voice? I call my old neighbor Frank every Thursday now. We talk for 20 minutes about nothing, the weather, his garden, the game last night. And it's the best part of my week, because we're not performing. We're just 2 old men who've known each other 40 years. That's wealth, meaning, real meaning. Not the work that pays you, the work that fills you. For me, it was mentoring young business owners after I sold my company, helping them avoid my mistakes. I did it for free, and I felt more alive in those 2-hour coffee meetings than I did in 30 years of boardrooms. What's the thing you do that makes you forget to check the time? That's your answer. Do more of that. Presence. Being here, not half here. I spent decades in rooms with people I loved while my mind was somewhere else. Vacation with my family while checking email. Dinner with my wife while replaying a meeting. My daughter's graduation while thinking about Monday. I was everywhere and nowhere. My grandson is 4. When I'm with him now, I leave my phone in the car. I get on the floor. I listen to his dinosaur facts. He told me about velociraptors for 30 minutes last week. I don't care about velociraptors, but I care about him. And I'm finally here. Fully here. And it's the closest thing to peace I've ever felt. Experiences over things. The best night of my life wasn't closing the biggest deal. It wasn't the award dinner. It wasn't buying the house. It was sitting on a dock in Maine with my wife. No plan, no schedule, just us and the water. We rented a cabin for 3 days. It cost maybe $600. We didn't do anything. We sat, we talked, we watched the sun go down. I remember the sound of the water. I remember her laugh. I remember thinking, this is it. This is what I've been missing. I can't remember a single business dinner I spent $1,000 on. But I remember that dock. What would change if you started protecting your time like your life depends on it? Because it does. You don't have to quit your job. You don't have to sell everything. You don't have to move to Bali. You just have to start saying no to the things that don't matter. Say no to the meeting that could be an email. Say no to the extra project that pays more but costs you Sunday. Say no to the committee that sounds impressive but drains you. Say no to scrolling for an hour before bed. Say no to people who only call when they need something. Say yes to lunch with your dad. Say yes to the walk your partner keeps suggesting. Say yes to the book you've been meaning to read. Say yes to the 20 minutes of silence in the morning before the world gets loud. Say yes to the trip. Say yes to the conversation. Say yes to doing nothing. Call your parents this week. Don't text, call. Ask them something you've never asked. What were they like at your age? What do they regret? What do they wish they'd known? You won't have forever to ask. Protect your health now, not when something breaks. Sleep. Move. Eat food that doesn't come from a bag. Your body isn't a machine. It's the only one you get. I ignored chest pains for 6 months before that parking lot. I thought I was tough. I was stupid. Stop waiting for permission to live. You don't need more money. You don't need more time. You don't need a better circumstance. You need to decide that your life matters now, not later. I wasted 40 years believing peace would come after success. It doesn't. Peace comes from letting go of the idea that you need more to be enough. I'm 88. I don't have much time left, and I'm not scared anymore. Because I finally stopped running. I finally sat down. I finally let myself just be here. And it turns out that's all I ever needed. You still have time, but not as much as you think. So what are you going to do differently? Leave a comment. Tell me one thing you're going to change this week. One call you'll make. One trip you'll book. One conversation you'll finally have. And if this story meant something to you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Someone who's running too hard. Someone who's forgotten what matters. Subscribe if you want more truth from people who've lived long enough to know what actually counts. The clock is ticking. For all of us. The question isn't whether you have time. The question is what you're doing with it. So what are you going to do with your time?